In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to use the print to file function. Print to file is used to save each piece of the 2D pattern as an individual image at full scale. The output can be used for reference of other graphic design systems or as a true dimension plotted image. On a PC, we go to the main menu, click File, and then Print to File. Now, we need to configure the various properties. Note that the available properties depend on the file format we select. Let's go through the file format options we have. First, PDF with textures. The patterns are output as a PDF and the content is not editable. Next, PDF vectors only. The patterns are output as PDF and the content is editable. The vector files are maintained in vector format. This way, pattern shape corrections could be done, for example, using Illustrator. Finally, images. The output types are graphic files such as JPEG, PNG, or TGA formats. Let's for now go with PDF with textures. Next, we adjust the image resolution. Note that this option is not available with PDF vector-only output. We select the resolution we want to go for, 72 dpi or 300 dpi. The higher the dpi, the better image quality and the longer it takes to create the file. For best texture quality, ensure the DPI of the texture image in the software is equal or higher DPI than the print-to-file DPI. Now, we select which items we want to include in the output. We can either select all or click individual items as required. Let's go through each item. We'll start with fabric materials. Note that this item is not available if you're exporting with the PDF vectors-only file format. If selected, fabric materials are included in the output. We may also include or exclude the option to extend fabrics over allowance, meaning that the fabric texture is covering the seam allowance if available. If fabric material is not selected, each pattern piece uses the allowance color, which is set in the 2D window preference. If you choose to export the pattern as a PDF vectors-only file format, we can decide whether or not we want to include the fabric color. If selected, each fabric's diffuse color is used as a solid color. Note that when using multi-layered fabrics such as a fabric with an all-over print, the fabric that provides the physical properties determine the color selected. We may again choose to include or exclude extend fabric over allowance. Let's switch back to PDF with textures file format. Next, we can include the seam material in our print-to-file pattern. This is again not available in the PDF vectors-only output. If selected, internal lines are included in the output. Next, we look at artwork and trims. Note that this option is only available in the PDF with textures file format. If selected, we may also select these other options: draw rulers, if any, hide rulers on centered artwork. If selected, rulers on center artwork are hidden. Show out-of-piece elements. This means artwork and trim outside pieces. When switching to PDF vector-only file format, artwork and trim options change to artwork and trim vector only. If selected, vector artwork and trim is included in the output. This means Illustrator artwork and vectorized seams would be exported. Non-vector artwork and trims would not be included in the output. Exporting vector shapes for each piece can help to measure the full repeat of the printed fabric. Next, we can include or exclude the seam allowance area for the printed shapes. The premise for that is that the pattern has a seam allowance. In this pattern, we don't have a seam allowance and can assume that it will be added on later. If we're using a nested pattern, meaning that the pattern comes in a size range, we can include or exclude the option to export the patterns in all sizes. This means that the outline of all sizes is included in the PDF of the pattern piece. If there are artworks on the inside, we may export inside view. We will not select this option for now. By default, each pattern piece is exported separately, meaning there is a separate PDF or image file for each pattern piece. In addition to that, we may want to export a file that includes all chosen pattern pieces. We select Export Pieces in a single file. Now, we select the colorways to include. The last decision is to select which pattern pieces we want to export. We can either select all or select whichever pattern pieces we want to include. Once finished with our selection, we click Export. We give the file a name and save it. Note that if a PDF file format is selected, the default export type is set to Adobe Acrobat Document PDF. If an image file format is selected, the default save as type is JPEG. You may also select PNG, BMP, TGA. On saving, separate folder named for each including colorways are created. Each separate piece is saved inside each folder. In this video, you've learned how to use Print to File. For more information, check out the Browseware Help Center.